What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the debut EP by American singer Addison Rae. Basically, this product is called AR and it came out in the summer 2023. And this particular product came out in the summer 2023. So within the fares about it here, particularly Addison Rae, if you're not as full-bound familiar with her pitches like that, she's a large spread kind of TikTok singer, pitches like that, did a series of hit and massive kind of TikTok videos, pitches like that. Definitely one of the staples, at least out of the early 2020s, pitches like that. Now within the fair, she later became, like, I want to say, like an actress as well, fairs like that. Got into definitely a socialite kind of pitch like that, kind of like a new era Paris Hilton without the sex tape as far as this first gonna happen. But it's just kind of the pitch as far as saying within the variety, as far as talking about definitely one of the it girls, thinking when reflecting on the 2020s. Reflecting on the 2020s decade, at least up to this stage, within pitches like that. So it's excellent type ordeals, but yeah, some banner type products, excellent type pitches here to get. She has at least 2 products. I'm going to get to further type ones down the road within these pitches, but this excellent type ordeal is a real snap type one. Looking upon the reception about this, that it had been said that this was, like, particularly Rolling Stone had said that this was like a plasticky kind of pristine pop that online audiences ironically and unironically eat up. And it's kind of the pitch as far as saying I agree with that particular pitch about it. Now the fair about it, it's very fizzy type album pitch like that, and that makes complete sense within the aspect as far as talking about the fair that Addison Rae was at, like, the forefront of like the kind of sensations that were kind of going on pretty much globally within those pitches. So it's kind of the fair as far as saying, especially back in 2023, probably she's probably a little bit more white hot around those particular times, but it's kind of the pitch as far as saying she had singles as far back as 2021. So it's kind of the pitch as far as talking about she had singles as far back as 2021, so it's kind of the pitch as far as talking about within the flare as to how those particular varieties that kind of happens. So it's within the pitch as far as saying, but yeah, the white hotness definitely within the aspects as far as those first kind of went. TikTok is still more or less relatively new within these pitches. It's kind of the variety as far as saying, but definitely within the aspect as far as that particular fair. The aspect, basically the flare of what particularly happens with this EP within the aspect behind it is just getting a real kind of ear to the streets and kind of particular, just fleshed out just an aspect. I mean, the actual aspect about it is, despite the TikTok popularity, it didn't appear that particularly Addison Rae's this ubiquitousness with that kind of translated to like the fair. I mean, it definitely has a casual appeal. It has plenty of good reception on here. But it is kind of surprising that some of these type ones were not everyday within the radio glam type factor, rhythmic type radio. So it's kind of pitched this question whether or not that TikTok could be shoehorned into like the casual spotlight, which it definitely should within these pitches. It makes sense considering TikTok is kind of a music type app pitch, just like that. She would have. Seeing she would have a pretty good affiliate with being able to do it. So it's kind of fair as far as saying it's a good type product. I think TikTok's going to be a good vessel in the future for like the fairs of rising kind of stars, kind of pitches like that, similar to how MySpace was back in those days, and pitches like that. So stuff fairs when you think of like SoundCloud for like rap music, so stuff fairs. So it's kind of pitch as far as saying it was good products as far as these pitch kind of go. Good definite vessel. I would have to say one of the type 1, she was definitely one of the ones that spearheaded that. Now it's kind of within the pitch. 2023 was kind of, it was a decent while ago, but it kind of wasn't within those pitches. So it's kind of fair as far as saying, questioning how many other TikTok type starlets and just folks, TikTok folks in general, probably popped up within some of the pitches. But it's good excellent type products as far as getting towards it. After Effect would say it's a classic EP. Recommend all 5 songs off this EP. Just good staple type appeal. But it's kind of the pitch. It seemingly kind of had some backlash pitches like that. It seems like it's not so much she's someone that you love to hate within these pitches, but it's just kind of the fair that typically with like older generations pitches like that, the reception and some of that type fair with like the being that particular trendy and pitches like that, it's kind of like the way Paris Hilton was back in 2003, that she would kind of feel like plastic or Valley Girls, so and stuff, asterisks and tones as far as those pitches. Probably the same thing that particularly happened with Beverly Hills 90210 pitch. It's just kind of the thing about talking about the new, more or less, it sensation. But it's definitely the flare. I mean, I look after just the glam factor real high, just sparky things like that. It's good taste to like contemporary typeness, some shopping mall, kind of mall rats kind of jazz pitch like that, not to have foulness with my... not to say mall rats in terms of derogatory, but it's the pitch for us. It's just good pop, good fizz, good pop and good fizziness within those fairs. Just being able to say there was at least 1 single off this product, which is a Spotify kind of bonus tracks on the standard edition, which may not be like it. I think probably it should get like some sort of expanded type edition that has the single Obsessed on there, because it's definitely a worthwhile song to pick up within these pitches. But yeah, I recommend all 5 songs off this product, including the Spotify bonus track Obsessed as far as this first comes. So 10 out of 10 EP, but I'll talk about Obsessed first and we'll get to the rest of this. So Obsessed, the single that came out in 2021, is a hit type 1. It's like an Out in the Brush and Gray's kind of typical. It's like an Out in the Brush and Gray's kind of good typical kind of shopping mall music to kind of get here. There's some shopping mall kind of music loom, I definitely would say. Just kind of an everywhere type fit. So it's just one of those type 1s. Just the After Effect, the Heartache pitches like that. Thinking of some of those type pairs, a just particular starlet or something within the gab of conversation. Realizing said focus popping up within your dome pitches like that, just out in the fray pitches like that. So it's kind of fair one of those type 1s where you just, or kind of the light flicks on your head like, who was that? Some of those type pitches, just the aspect of that particular fair, just amidst like music, strip mall type fair, some of those type aspects, just amidst the day fair. So it's kind of that conduct about it. Real busy type day fair pitch like that, and a lot of these do feel pretty affable for like the sense of probably like some standard music, not just for like strip malls and shopping, but also just the pitch. Probably more or less if Target was feeling a little bit more sprightly, it'd be kind of the pitch you might pick this up. It might pick this up. I feel like it's probably going to be more shopping malls, more places, probably like, you know, Gap and Old Navy and some of these type places, aspects like that. Some of these particular type fairs, pitches like that. Bath and Body Works, bunch of places like that, some type fairs, aspects like that. Sears, some of these type places, but it's kind of the pitch as far as saying just paying attention. Then the particular type variety is just kind of the pitch of it's being a good pitch, like some music type fair that has like a good establishment. So it's within the aspect as far as staying within the tone behind it. But I look after here just being able to say, yeah, that's the particular fair. I mean, the aspect behind it, the casual factor, like I was saying, is going to be large enough. I kind of feel like within the pitch, it's not really as if Addison Rae really needs to particularly have like the particular tone of having like the number 1s, the number 3s, just because the library of that she has with TikTok type fairs is going to be pretty ubiquitous with that as well. So it's kind of pitch. I feel like it's not to say that they shouldn't pick up airplay. It was kind of pitch. It's going to have the commonplace. These are probably all over TikTok and fairs like that, so it's good type pitches. But definitely in some places where you'd hear these outside of just cell phone type fair and social media pitch like that. There are some ones. Obsessed is kind of like that. I would also say that there's another one on here, like It Could Have Been Used, a good one for that. So yeah, but just get to some of these type 1s. But yeah, It Could Have Been Used, a hit type 1s, like a good Wingstop and evening scene, kind of loose and get here. There's like Charlie Puth's Attention song, one of those type 1s that just kind of is like a good Maroon 5, Adam Levine type foot tap pitch like that. Sounds like fairs when you think of songs by them from back in the early 2010s, like One More Night, good pitch like that. But definitely like Charlie Puth's Attention, sounds like fairs is good sports bar, Wingstop type places pitch like that. Just have like a good round of hot wings pitch like that. Bowling alley type fair in certain senses, just restaurant type fair, date evening scene, kind of a spicy bop to kind of get. A real flared type 1, excellent type flash about it is Nothing On But the Radio, good pitch like that. It's like an excellent kind of smeared 80s new wave kind of jump off to get here within these products. Just run up the drink tab pitch like that within availability. Now realizing Addison Rae within the pitch, she is 25, 26 within these tones, but this is kind of pitch, paying attention to that particular fair, just kind of the pitch alike. Run up the drink tab pitches like that. It's kind of what obsession do you currently have? Some of that pitches with an aspect as far as these first emphasis within the pitch as far as saying paying attention, just the product of just bay nearby pitch like that, some stuff fairs, but running up the drink tab, talking about the pitch. Now within the variety, within the drinking variety of folks within the aspect as far as talking about within the fair, like particular TikTok type starlet that's going to have the familiarity within the aspect of paying attention to Addison Rae, knowing the flair, but definitely within the above the age variety of past 23 or so, probably within those pitch just within the aspect. But it's kind of the fair that's becoming, that has more affable type bite, considering that TikTok is now 7 and 8 years old, pitch like that. But this kind of aspect, that's the thing kind of within these pitches, is the aspect behind this kind of being bubblegum pops, kind of the pitch of just questioning like the fair. It's definitely within the pitch that Addison Rae, I think, has probably like an audience that's not just within the teenage type variety, and within those, I think it's probably within the pitch that a lot of these have pretty solid, and a lot of these have pretty solid and affable type connect within like fairs going past just like the 20s type aspect, considering that Addison Rae is kind of in her mid 20s, so it's kind of pitch as far as saying I think there's easily enough being 30 something, 33, 37, 41 cents of pitches within variety. Just is just good kind of electro pop within the pitch, just some trendy type fairs should be within the pitch, just reaching that particular crowd. So it's kind of pitch, but yeah, nothing is basically like just getting a new Pink type song pitches like that. Some stuff fairs when you think like a hit Pink song, like particular Get the Party Started just 25 years later, pitch like that. But it's kind of the ordeal, just paying attention to the variety. So good pitches like that. But yeah, just what obsession, run up the drink tab with yourself and like a particular flame in mind pitch just like that. But also paying attention to the aspect, just what's the obsession, what's the particular fair, just something that's currently like just to say as if like whether or not the bar would kind of be like the particular app spot that's like the most thriving kind of attention grabbing type thing for said flame in mind kind of pitch of just like whether or not there's going to be some wandering pitch like that. So it's kind of fair just on top of some of those type pairs, but just good dance club type smear, some of these type pitches really gives some Depeche Mode type vibes, excellent type pitches about that, just vibes like that, a little bit of REM, and has like a throwback type police type vibes, some of those type pitches with an aspect, just something that feels like within the particular, just getting crunk within the aspect, but just kind of in a throwback kind of 80s disco type sense pitch like. But yeah, just the nice fizzy kind of gab up real loud pitch like that, so it's kind of pitch behind it, but just probably one of the most loosened type ones on here, good pitch like that, just excellent type fair, just real bust to move to pitch like that, get crunk too. Another nice one would be To Die For pitch like that. It's like a homebound kind of afterthought to get here. Good nice one to grab Fritos. Just kind of after it's kind of after product type fare. Just some favorite pickups here, I'd say. Pitch like that. Sometimes type fares, gift card or a plushie. Sometimes type fares with a flame in mind. It's kind of a chum along type song, I'd say. Just kind of some cool smokes kind of in the wind. Pitch like that. Not to waste the smokes, but just kind of pitch. I'm just appreciating the breeze. So just a couple of these brushy type ones, pitches like that. Some of those good type fares. Just another gray skies type one pitch like that. Just appreciate like the variety. Just kind of heading home from like a shopping mall. Some stuff pitches within the neighborhood. Some stuff fares, but just kind of aspect of this. Good kind of relatively pleasant kind of bopping pitch like that. So just within fair, just within the aspect, not so much within the variety like a full bound type flare, just like break a sweat type hustle pitch like that, but just the variety, just healthy kind of pickups pitch like that. Some stuff fair, just kind of solid autumn winter kind of gray skies strut along pitch like that. Sunset fair is just smoke in the wind, some good type fair. So it's kind of within pitch, just to stay on top of that, the smoke type factor being on here within the bite size type product of this album pitch, just like that. It's good that there's even songs in the first place that are kind of on here within the pitch of having some of that type variety. It has some tear up kind of on here, but it's kind of the pitch is just as far as just paying attention. There's actually it is a pretty roomy type album within the pitch of being able to have like these particular varieties. So it's kind of pitch as far as saying it's not quite as full bound within the aspect as like there's just not as much goaltending within these pitches. Not to say that in a derogatory type sense, but it's just kind of pitch to say in the aspect it's kind of more free based within tone as far as these pitches can happen. But I think the last song I haven't talked about on here is particularly I Got a Bad Good pitch like that. It's a nice one. It's like a solid kind of night shift gliss along, I'd say, pitch like that. Just paint the town red, I'd have to say here. Good pitches. Just a shop spree. Have flame in mind. Sometimes that pitches. Spend a few things pitched like that. It's kind of fair. Just kind of time waste and some good time waste and throwaway money with them pitch like that. Some type ordeals is kind of some on top of that, like some careless crunks kind of get to. So this is one of those type ones, kind of within fashion, like a Cyndi Lauper type song. Some type pitches, just aspect, not so much full bound like that, but just gives off like 80s kind of neon type vibes. Some type pitches within some of those type pitches within the aspect. This flares kind of within the variety of something within the aspect like Billy Idol, but just less kind of hard rock within pitch. Just kind of has the aspect as far as saying paying attention to some of those type ones. Can't really think something that probably would have been in Las Vegas or Miami back in 85 or 87. Some of those type pitches within is kind of fair about some of that particular factor about it. Would make like for some pretty mean TikTok type fares and product good pitch like that among some of those type phrases. I definitely say it's a good pitch like that, but just a gliss type one, just a factor, just blur along pitches like that. Lokes on definitely wilding out, but a good type pitch to have like appreciate the product, just like the Starry Nights definitely within pitches for bigger type towns, definitely paint the town red for some of these type pitches, even within the product just hitting up like some standard type fares, just having like a flame take a real good nice drag and a hit off of like a particular white grape switch or something like that, something that's probably going to make said flame cough, something like that. Just a good kind of go easy type fair pitch like that, but it's just good type varieties, just starry type tune pitch like that, just some good nice demon tone kind of gliss pitches like that. So that's the fray about this particular album. 10 out of 10 EP pitches like that. Social score obviously is probably going to get a 10 out of 10. It's within the pitch for us saying the makeshift type fair within the pitch. It probably would in some degree of fashion be on rhythmic type radio, but it's kind of the pitch of just paying attention to the aspect. It's within TikTok type spices, so it's kind of the pitch. It's going to have that popularity, but it's kind of the pitch of this. The only real thing about it is just the pitch of just paying attention to whether or not that particular aspect is just questioning for older heads and more crotchety type fare, whether or not that. I mean, it just is a Tibble type flack to take shots at TikTok and Addison Rae, so it's kind of the pitch as far as saying with her being one of the flagship type ones, it seems like if you don't like TikTok, there's a decent sort of fare that you may not like her, but it's kind of the pitch. That shouldn't be the case. It's definitely just fizzy type pops, just real ear to the streets kind of disc. Right now, it type varieties pitch like that, just definite within the product, just spicy, this good Zal type product, was just kind of pitched that the flack probably is within that complex, but it's just not, it's really not within the orientation of saying that these songs on here do not feel like they're crafted for 13 and 16-year-old. Do not feel like they're crafted for like 13 and 16-year-old type variety pitches like that. Some of these type ones are easily, you can have a pretty solid enough amount of tear up in your system where you might have to sit down a spell or something like that. So this kind of pitch for us, and it's not like a light-hearted type album. It's full band. It's not like it isn't, but it's this kind of pitch. It has the tear up on here, pitch like this. This be able to say, so 10 social in terms of each, like Addison Ray put out a 2025 album pitch like that, and that's the actual full bound type album. So it's kind of pitch as far as saying good type varieties about it. So excellent type pitches. Hopefully we get a follow up in terms of some of these type pitches within the aspects. Hopefully there's more of these in route pitches like that. I definitely think now within the backlash, whether or not the full bound kind of would be within the aspect. But I would definitely have to say within the aspect, it definitely feels like both these sounds are pretty good juggernauts within the pitch and definitely should get further helpings quite a bit, I'd have to say, within this.